Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to Inventory Management Portal. This is Ali Raza and today I am going to tell you about Purchase Invoice again. This is the 10th part of this long story and I try to finish it out or wind it up the Purchase Invoice today, hopefully, inshallah. And this is lecture number 29. So let's start and have a look what we have today. Alright guys, so we have done so many UI and UX experiments and the quality assurance stuff as well. Now the next part is the price updation issue. Let me show you that. You see, I have taken the individual price here inside this SQL table, that is purchase invoice details, and here every time when we add a new product, okay, its price will be added here. Okay, so we have, let's say we have purchased a denim, so its price, let's say for the first time it was 100 rupees, so 100 is there, but when you buy the denim after 2 months, let's say, so its price may be up or maybe its price goes down. So we can make the price reduce to a little bit percentage or whatever the criteria or scenario will be, so we can increase or reduce the price. So that will be reflected here in this table. But of course when we talk about the selling part of that product, so we should have one price. For that purpose we can simply do what? We can simply put the price in a separate table. That's why I have created this product price table, and here I'm going to add the price. But you see in the you saw in the previous lecture that I have made the constraint that the product with the same details cannot be added again with whatever the price will be. Okay, so what I wanted to do, I'll pick up the current product that exists already, okay, that is selected from the purchase invoice. Okay, so if the product exists already, so I have to pick up the price and then I have to do the average methodology so that the profit and loss calculation will be done in a fair manner. Okay, so let's go and do this. One more thing I must tell you here, that let's say if you have purchased a product for, let's say, 100 rupees and after 2 months you have again updated you have again purchased the same product. Now the price goes to 150 rupees. Okay, so 50% the price is increased. Now what is the issue then? So if you add the price to, or update the price to 150 rupees, all the previous stock of the similar product is updated to the 150 rupees. That will give you a complete profit, or then there is no loss. And similarly, if the situation goes in the reverse order, let's say you have bought a product for 100 rupees and after some time you have again bought that same product in 50 rupees. When you update the price to 50 rupees, of course when you sell the previous stock again, so you are selling in a loss. Okay, so profit and loss is there in the business, so it's better to make the average profit and average loss. That gives you the you can say half effect of the profit and half effect of the loss. That would be more better as compared to the direct updation of the price. Okay, so we can find the average of the previous price of the product, same product, and the new price of the same product. Okay, and then after calculating the average we can update the price with that average. I hope it is clear to everyone. That's the logic that I'm going to utilize here. Okay, so let's go to the SQL, and you see we have this table available here. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to get the product price, select all from the table name is product price. Okay, but I don't want to select all. I wanted to get the, or I wanted to check whether the price exists or not, okay, of that particular product. So where pp underscore id, that is the, sorry, pro id is equals to any id. So I should make this as a stored procedure. So delimiter, let me zoom in. Okay, delimiter / delimiter and space semicolon, and create procedure st underscore get existing product, or you can write here a good name, check pro exist. Okay, if the product exists already, so how can I check? With the help of a parameter, that is pro id, that should be big int, and I'll pass this pro id here, pro id. Okay, and so select the details of this product that I will pass on runtime, and then semicolon. Okay, so that's the stored procedure that I have to create. Now let's copy and execute this. You see, commands completed successfully. Now what we have to do, we have to go to Dreamweaver, and this is our insert page where we are sending the product price. Okay, so before sending the product price, I should use this thing here. So you see, I have the connection already, so I'm going to create another variable, let's say retrieve query, or retrieve query, like, okay, that's fine. Retrieve query is equals to, and here I'm going to pass call, and the procedure name is this one. Let's copy this and go to the Dreamweaver and paste. So here in the round brackets I have to pass the product ID. So we have already product ID available in the pro ID variable. Okay, so whatever the pro ID will be, it will be passed to the this parameter, this you can say this stored procedure. Okay, and then we have to execute this, and you see I can simply write here if my SQLi underscore query, and here we can write connection $con, comma, and then we have to write here the query, that is retrieve query. Okay, if this executes successfully, then what we have to do, we have to pick up the price. Okay, so what we can do, but before going to this, let's write here $res is equals to, so whatever the result will be, it will be stored inside res, and then we can specify the while loop, while $raw is equals to my SQLi underscore fetch underscore raw, and then I'll pass the result, that is $res in this case. Okay, and you know that I need only one record, okay, of that product, so while loop is also not necessary. So just remove this while and remove these brackets. So if the record exists, just pick it up inside the raw. Now what we have to do, we have to go to the procedures, and why don't we select the price of that product directly. So this procedure name is check pro exist. So let's open this and edit this here, that is pp. What I wanted to select, I wanted to select the price, okay, of that product. If the price exists, then it will return, otherwise the blank will be, or the null will be returned. Okay, so the current price will be picked up, and click on the go button. Okay, that's it. Now let's go and come here, and now we have only one column that is coming from this. So what I can do, I can simply create a variable before this for loop. So $, and we can write here price is equals to 0 by default. Okay, and when we fetch the record, so let's write here price is equals to, or you can write here existing price, existing price. Okay, so if there are records or the query is retrieved, okay, so the price should store inside the exist price. Okay, so $exist price. Okay, now what will happen, wait a minute, sorry, this variable should be exist price, and now existing price should be stored from $raw of 0, because only one column we have. So if the query is this, then do this, else do some other stuff. Now when we have the price already available, then we do not insert inside the product, instead we can update the product. But if this query will not execute, that means if we do not have any records. Okay, and one more method that we can apply here is if my SQLi underscore num underscore rows and here I have to pass the result. So $res, you can do something like this, greater than 0. If the records are there, that means this if will run. Okay, and cut this code and paste it here. Okay, and now inside this else we can specify the rest of the code. So cut it out and paste it. Okay, no, not that this place, that was fine. Okay, so if there are number of records available, then put that inside the existing price. Otherwise what we can do, we can simply use this one. So cut it out and paste it here. Okay, now the next step is, if the price exists already, we have put the price, and now we have to add into the new price. So where is our new price? Our new price is inside this one, PP. Okay, so what we can do, we can simply replace the price from this price, that is the PP. But how can we replace? As I have mentioned in the beginning of the lecture, that we can add the existing price that is coming from the database, and we can add the new price, okay, that the user has entered now. So we have to add that. Okay, so let's create a new variable after existing price. $new price is equals to 0 by default before the loop. And now if the price is there, then simple right here, new price is equals to $existing price plus $pp. Okay, so the new price that you have entered and the existing price that is coming from the database of that product that you have passed here. Okay, because this is the for loop, every time the product ID will change as per the loop. Okay, so every product has its existing price. If they are already available, then its existing price will be picked up and its new price is added. And then what we have to do, we have to simply make them divide by 2, because the existing price and the current price are 2, so that's why I am dividing it to 2, and then the new price will be the average price, or you can say the average price here. Okay, of the product. Now when the new price came, now we have to call the update product price function inside this, rather this query we have to call the update product price. Okay, so let's go and pick up the update product price, and here you see I am only updating the product price. I'm not updating the size, the category and all that stuff. Okay, so one more thing that I have to do, one more thing that I have to check here. Let's go and go back to that stored procedure. Yes, one thing that just came in my mind, there's the mistake. I have to make more conditions. I just, because the product can be of different categories. Okay, so if product ID is this and category ID is this and size ID, okay, so size ID, I have to pass these parameters as well. So tiny integer, and color ID, that was integer. So now where product ID is this, pp underscore category ID is equals to category ID. Yes, we have to make sure these things as well. Okay, I hope you got it, because product can be of different categories, different sizes and different colors. So if we have the same product of same category, same size, so size ID and pp underscore color ID is equals to color ID. Okay, so these are the three things where this is equal to this. Now you have to apply AND operation, AND operation, AND operation, and that's it. So where product ID is this and category ID is this and size ID is this and column ID is this, I hope color ID is this. Okay, so that's my updation in the procedure. So let's execute. Commands completed successfully. Now when I open this, what's the name? It's check pro exist. So these are the parameters: pro ID, category ID, size and color. So first of all, category, size and color. Okay, after this, so here I have to pass the category first. So cat ID, that is here. Okay, category. Then we have the size. So size, and then $color. Okay, so siz and color. I hope you got this, guys. So if the product with the category this, size this, column color this, and product ID is this, if it exists, then do this, otherwise do not do, otherwise simply add that product. Okay, so that's what the case I am going to do. So if the things exist, then do this new price and update. So update what? Update the product price, not everything. So let's go and pick up the update product price stored procedure. So update product price. So you see, let's copy this and come here and just first of all let's copy this one, and when we get the new price, just come here and remove this thing and pass this stored procedure update one. So and now the parameters that I have to pass here is the pro ID, the price, and the what is this? Yes, the individual per product price ID. That is the problem. We don't have this, I think, right now. We have to check. So pro ID and the price. Let's pick up that. We have the pro ID as the first parameter. We have the price as the second parameter. Okay, but the new price should be updated. So let's copy this. After pro ID, we have to paste it, and now we need where it should be updated. Okay, now you see what I have received. Check exist product exist. Okay, let's go back to this stored procedure. Check product exist. One more column that we need to fetch here is, you see, we are getting the things from the product. So let's pick up another column, that is pp underscore id, the primary key of this table as id. Okay, now it becomes on the 0th index and it becomes on the first index. Okay, so two things I have received. Okay, now let's go back, and here instead of 0 I should write here 1, because the existing price is on now first column and I have to create another variable. Let me create here pp id equals to 0, and here I'm going to write here $pp id is equals to $raw. This time we have another column that is on the 0th index, that is the ID, where I wanted to update this price. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to simply write the pp id here. Okay, so $pp id, I hope it is clear to everyone. Product price ID, guys, you see, let me show you that pp id. So close this stored procedures, go to the tables, product price and structure. You see, we have this primary key pp id. Okay, so based on this I'm going to update the price. We don't need the product name as well, because the product is there. So that's an unnecessary thing, but if you wish to remove, then you can remove as well. Okay, so right now I'm saving the time, so just ignore it. Okay, so if this thing will happen, if the price of the product already exists, or if the same product already exists in the product price, then this query is appended to the query, and otherwise the insert will happen. So that's the other stuff that I have to do. Okay, now let's go and try to add purchase invoice and check whether it is working or not. So 14 is the date, camel, shirt, and then large, and then red, and then denim, and then quantity is 1, price is 1. Okay, price is 100 and quantity should be 10, let's say. Add perfect records. Okay, now I am again buying the shirt. Okay, and not shirt, let's pick up trouser, and 42 is the length and blue is the color, and denim, and quantity is 3, price is 50, and add. Okay, so 1150 is the total amount. Let's save this. Okay, it's saying me unable to add purchase details. That means there's some problem. Okay, so where's the message? Here is the message, because of some issue, and yes, that might be an issue of the connection. Okay, so we have to release the connection first. So just release the connection after executing this query. Where we have to do this, we have to make it let's copy the error and check at this point. Okay, save and go to the database and see what data we got inside this. So you see we have the purchase invoice, we don't have the purchase invoice detail. Okay, let's go to the stock, we don't have the stock, and we don't have the product price as well. So the purchase invoice is done, but the other things are not done. Okay, now let's refresh this again and check what's the issue. So Umair, let's remove that purchase invoice first because that's a useless record. Delete. Okay, now come here and do the testing again. Large, blue, denim, 3, 34, 34. Let's add another one. Trouser. Okay, length is this, color is this, 34 and 2, and then save. So you see there are no SQL exceptions coming. I think then there should be some other issue. Unable to add purchase details is the message that is coming, but my SQLi underscore error is not showing me any error. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it after this one. Okay, so we have to release the connection because we have executed the query and at this part. Okay, because the connection has been released here, and then first time it executes at this point, and then I have released the connection. Now let's save this and check the purchase invoice again. Okay, so come here and preview in Chrome. Let's go back and remove the purchase invoice that is again added. Just remove this, delete, yes, and we have to check purchase price, product, and the stock. So nothing is there. Okay, now let's go and check purchase invoice again, because that's the connection issue, because one connection can be used multiple times but it should be free. So red, denim, 339, add simple records, and trouser, length, red, denim, 4 and 4, simple record, and then save. So it's still showing me the unable to update add purchase. Alright guys, let us try to debug this problem. So how can we debug this? Instead of this line, let's comment it out and add a new line. Just see what are the queries that we need. So first of all, I wanted to see the query that we have, concatenation, then another concatenation operator, and then the retrieve query. So these are the two queries that I am passing for execution. Okay, so now let's try to run this. Okay, sorry, not insert, purchase.php, run this. Okay, now 14, BBB, shirt, large, red, denim, 5 and 5, add. Okay, but before going to this, let's go to the purchase invoice and remove the existing data inside the purchase invoice. So you see, delete this. Okay, my table is clear, nothing is there inside now. So this is the data. Now I am going to save. So you see the queries that I have passed are coming here. Now you see that we have checked this one, we have checked this one, but this is the new query that we have added. So let's copy this one and go to the SQL and run this. Okay, so right now you know that we don't have already any product already inside the table, so it was blank. So you see when I execute this, an error came here, that is unrecognized keyword near on at position 25, though I haven't written that, but my SQLi, you see, set foreign checks on is there already available, and command is out of sync. Again, that is a problem. So let's try to click on the edit query, and you see I'll make it off. Okay, now let's execute this. Okay, commands completed successfully. Now let's come here and execute this query again. Copy and SQL and paste, and see whether it is working or not. So you see it's still on, and the problem is with the command auto sync. Okay, so let's remove this on. Offline, sorry, not offline, off, and execute. Commands completed successfully. Now go to the SQL and paste. I think it's a global issue. I think I must resolve it from somewhere else. Alright guys, so that is not working for us. So what we can do, we can simply create a new connection and check whether it is working for us or not. So I am copying this connection because I have used this connection so many times, and of course this is not freeing up for this query. Okay, so let's try to create a new connection at this point. Okay, but give it a name con2, the same connection but it's con2, and I'm passing this connection to be executed with this retrieve query. And then the next thing is let's uncomment this and remove this line. Okay, so taking the things back to the order. And one more thing that I must do here is I should cut this else from there, okay, and put it here after this else, because if records are not there, then we should append the query like this. So that's better, because when this is executed, this else will not going to be run. So let's try to check this whether it is working or not. Okay, so these are some changes. Now let's go to the purchase invoice and execute. So preview in Chrome, and let's try to pick it up value. Okay, keep in mind I have cleared all the tables. There are no data inside the table. So let's try to add one record. Okay, and save. So you see one record added successfully. So let's go to the first of all purchase invoice. You see it's there, then purchase invoice detail, it's there, then stock, it's there, and then product price, it's there. Okay, so now I have successfully purchased the product 1 already. Now the price of that product should be updated, that is 12, when I again buy the same product with the average price. Okay, so let's go and select the supplier again. Let's pick up some other supplier, or let's pick up the same supplier, no issues. Get the same product and the category, and quantity is 100, but the price this time I am giving here is 20 rupees. Same product but 20 rupees. Okay, and add and save. You see one record added successfully, and let's refresh this. So you see now the previous price was 12, and the new price, you see that product is not added again. Okay, so 16, how this 16 came, let me show you the calculation. So open the calculator. The previous price was 12, hopefully, yes, okay, and the new price was 20, I think so, yes, and when I divide by 2, yes, you see it gives me 16. So average price came to me. Okay, now the existing stock, let me show you the stock. You see I have now the quantity 34, the new stock of the same product, and the previous stock of the same product. I have bought this previous stock for 12 rupees per piece, and I have bought this new stock for 20 rupees per piece. So the average price of 12 and 20 gives me 16. So now this same product will be sold in rupees 16, not in rupees 10, sorry, not in rupees 12, and not in rupees 20. I hope you got my point, guys. Let me do it once again for you. For that purpose, let's open the admin DB and add another product, so that you can be able to understand in a good way. So open and admin DB and open. Alright, so let's start the admin panel. Okay, so the username was Bilal and password was 12345, and let's go to the purchase invoice here. And now, not in the purchase invoice, products. Okay, so I wanted to add a product, let's say ABC wool shirt. Okay, add product. So you see now I have two products. Let's go to the purchase invoice and come here in the supplier. Let's say on some other date I came back, the supplier was some other shirt, and then I'm going to pick up large and the color is red, and now I'm going to pick up another product and the quantity is 10, and the price, you see guys, I'm giving here 100 rupees right now. Okay, and 10 is the quantity. Add item. Now save this. Let's add another item. Let's pick up shirt or trouser, and now add denim. Quantity is any, and the price is 10, and okay, just leave the other product, I think, because it makes you confused. So just I am adding a new data with a new price and quantity for a new product that is 100 rupees. So I am buying this for 100 rupees as this is stock. So save, one record added successfully. Okay, now what happens, let us refresh this. I have bought this product for 100 rupees. Okay, now let's bought this product again, that is the shirt, and large and red. I think, yes, I have selected red, and then quantity is 10, but this time I am buying it for 75 rupees. Okay, so the new price is 75 rupees. So instead of updating the price from 100 to 75, I have done the average. That means 100 plus 75 divided by 2. So you see, now let's save. You see one record added successfully. So 100 plus 75 gives me 175 divided by 2. So let's do this. 100 plus 175 means 75. That gives me 175 divided by 2. So the price is 87.5. So it should be there inside the database when we go to the product price. So you see 87.5, the average price. I hope guys you have understood this, and I have purchased this product twice, but it gives me it shows me for once in the table because of the code that we have done today in this lecture. And let's go to the stock. So you see the product is coming in the stock 2 times. You see product ID 22, but once the stock was the price, where is the price? That's my stock table, so there is no price. So once the quantity was 10 and the second time the quantity was 10, now this product is available in the stock. That means the total amount of this stock product stock is 20, but and this product will be sold for rupees 87.5, the average formula that we have applied. I hope it is clear to everyone. So not in 100, not in 80, because it gives me a discrimination for the when we are selling the product to the customer. If somebody pick up the ABC woolen shirt from the old stock and somebody will pick the ABC woolen shirt from the new stock, then the price will differ. That's why I have done this average stuff. That's all for today. Hope you have liked today's lecture, and that's the finalization of our purchase invoice finally. So today one thing is still remaining, that is when we are saving this, the total amount should be debited or credited inside the ledger of the supplier. So let's quickly do that also, so that we can completely wind it off from the purchase invoice, insertion, updation, deletion, business logic. Okay, so let's go to the database and insert supplier ledger as the table. Okay, and you see these are the things, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to go to the procedures and insert insert ledger. Where is that? Insert ledger, insert supplier ledger. Here it is. Let's pick it up, and you see we are going to insert the date, the supplier ID, the description, the debit, the credit, and the balance. So first of all, we have to pick the last balance of the supplier. Do we have that? Let us check. So last supplier balance. So you see we have last customer, purchase ID. We don't have the last balance of the supplier. So let's quickly create the stored procedure for that. / delimiter, and then / delimiter, semicolon, and then create procedure st underscore get last balance of the supplier, okay, and then begin and end, and then here I must write select from supplier ledger, okay. So the table name is ledger supplier, because I'm going to purchase from somebody, so I'm going to use this table, ledger supplier ls. Select from ledger supplier ls. One more thing that I have to write here is the ls dot balance. I wanted to pick up the balance as balance, the column name alias, and then we have to write here limit 1, because I wanted to pick up the last record, okay, limit 1, and I want to add here order by ls dot id, okay. So that's the thing that I need to do, and then semicolon, okay. Create procedure, and the round brackets are missing, okay. I have added the round brackets. Create procedure, procedure name, and what it is saying to me, okay. So this is the issue, because we have to write delimiter first and then forward slash, that's fine. So that's my whole query for getting the last balance of the supplier. So let's execute this stored procedure, copy this out and execute, okay. Commands completed successfully. Similarly, let's go back here, and no, not go back here, just go to the SQL again and paste it, last balance supplier instead of this. Just create together last balance of the customer, so ledger customer and LC dot last balance. So okay, the column name is perfect. So this is the procedure for updating the or getting the last balance for the customer, okay. So now let's execute this. Commands completed successfully. Now let's go to the stored procedures and get last balance supplier. Let's pick it up, and we have to use this inside our insert page again. So let's close this admin DB, okay. So where I have to do this again inside the multi-query, so let's try to call this stored procedure when we have done with the everything. You see we are in the loop, so I don't want to insert the details inside the loop. I should go outside, and after the loop, you see here, after this we have to do the next step, okay. Now what we can do, we can simply write here query again, and instead of concatenation, just adding the new insert, update, delete, okay. So for that purpose, what I can do, I can simply use that method as well. Let us try insert underscore update underscore delete, and then the procedure name, that is, sorry, Control Z, come here and then copy. No, one thing that I need to do here is, let's write query again. So $query is equals to, first of all we have to get the last balance, yes. So call and paste get last balance of the supplier. But one thing that I have done again, the mistake, which supplier balance should be taken. So let us come here, where, and one parameter I have to add here is the supplier ID, okay, and it should be integer, I think. Let us check suppliers, right click, because I want to get the balance of the supplier specifically, right? So supplier ID is integer, so fine. So integer supplier ID, so where I have to write it, where supplier underscore ID, sorry, ls dot supplier ID, that's the supplier ID, okay, is equals to, and the supplier ID, that's it, and then execute The same is the mistake that I've done in the last balance of the customer. So I have to add a parameter, and you see, do we have customers? Yes, we have the customers. Just right click and go to the structure, and you see we have the customer as big integer, and then come here. So just right here, cust ID, and make it big int. Okay, and before order by, just right here, where clause, where lc dot customer ID is equals to cust ID. Okay, and then click on the go button. So we have updated the stored procedures. Now I have to pass the supplier ID. So dollar supplier ID. Do we have the supplier ID? No, we don't have the supplier ID. So where is basically the supplier ID? You see, we have used the supplier ID inside this PII underscore ARR. Okay, so how can I get that? Let's create a variable that is supplier ID is equals to let's go to the purchase invoice and show you, and let me show you the supplier details. So where I am adding the supplier, when I am saving the button. Okay, so that's the save, no, that's remove, and that's save button. So you see, first of all there is a date, so, and then supplier. Okay, so supplier is on the first index of the array. So let's come here and write here $PIARR of 1. Okay, so we'll get the supplier ID from this. Okay, and then first of all, what we have to do after getting the supplier ID, we have to pass this supplier ID to the procedure here. So dollar supplier ID. Okay, so we get the record inside the query. Now my query variable is refreshed with the this call stored procedure. Okay, now the next step is to execute this query. For that purpose, what we can do, we can simply create here result is equals to mysqli underscore query, and I have to pass the connection here. So you see, I have released the connection just before this procedure. So let's try to call this connection and execute the query, that is query. Okay, and then save it. And now when we get the last supplier balance of the supplier, now we have executed that. Now let's click create raw equals to, while is not required because still we are getting one record, so that's why I'm not using while loop. So mysqli underscore fetch underscore raw, and here I'm going to fetch the result, so res. Okay, and then you see why I am using res, because it asked me for the result. Okay, and now we have to store the last balance. So dollar last balance is a new variable and equals to dollar raw, and I have only picked up one column, that is the balance, so I am using the index 0. Okay, so the last balance of the supplier will come inside this. Now the next step is, after executing the query again, what we have to do, we have to make this, we have to release the connection. After releasing the connection, the next step is to insert the data. So insert underscore update underscore delete, that's my stored procedure function that I have used inside this group.php previous work. And let's go to the insert supplier ledger, and here let's copy this one and paste it, but I have to create an array. So $ARR is equals to, and array, and then I have to pass the values. Okay, so the first thing that I need to pass inside this array is the date. So where is the date? I haven't saved the date as well. So what we can do, we can simply create $date equals to, and yes, the date was inside this array, so just pass it. Okay, and this should be the 0 index because date was first entered. So here I have to pass $date first, then the next column is supplier ID, so supplier ID, and then the next column is description. So because we are purchasing something, okay, so we can write here products purchased, some description, okay, and then you can try to add any description or any reference based on the you can say for verification, okay. And then what we can do, we can put it inside the debit or the credit. Yes, that's the problem, because we have purchased from the supplier, okay, so our account should be you can say the supplier account should be debited, credited, and debit should be 0, so supplier should be credited, okay. So what we can do, we can simply write here, or we can put this data inside our account as well. So we don't have right now our own account, so let's write here inside the debit column. So the amount is let me do a calculation here, that is the balance equals to, so the last balance is last balance plus, because I wanted to credit the supplier, so just debit the 0, because the formula is, let me write here in comment, balance, I have told you before, balance equals to balance plus debit minus credit. So right now the supplier is giving to us, so he is out of the products. So what we can do, we can simply write here balance, whatever the last balance we have, balance plus debit. That right now we are not debiting, we are not giving to the supplier, we are receiving from the supplier, so the supplier should be credited, okay. So last balance plus debit minus credit. So what should be credited, the total amount, okay. So where is the total amount? That is the problem now. Where is the total amount? We have to find that. We are saving the purchase invoice detail, the insert stock, and we haven't saved the total amount. Yes, that's an issue. So what we can do, we can manually calculate the total, so per price, okay. This time what we can do, we can simply we have to call the stored procedure for this. So let's go to the SQL and create a stored procedure again. So delimiter // delimiter. That's one case, but that's a lengthy step, I think. What we can do, we can simply go to the purchase invoice, and why don't we send the data from here of the grand total, okay. So when we are pressing the save button here, okay, you see we have the grand total inside the grand label. So can we do something like, let me create a variable here inside the purchase invoice, that is variable grand is equals to, and let's pick up the grand total value by writing like dollar, and where is the grand total? Basically it's inside the ID, that is hash grand label dot text, okay. So we have the value of the grand total when after everything, when we click on the save button, so we should have the text, so variable grand. So what I can do, I can simply pass this here, $grand, that's an easy step, not $grand, simple grand, okay. Variable is outside the, yes, that's fine, okay, grand. Now the next step is we have to come here inside PHP, and we have to make sure that it is coming. So let's try to use and is set, and we can write here $_post and then we can write here grand. Okay, let me check the spelling. It's small, yes, it's small, so grand. Okay, so grand is there. Now what we have to do, we have to simply create a variable dollar grand is equals to, just copy this one and paste it here. That's the total amount. Okay, and now we have to credit the supplier with this total amount. Okay, that is the dollar grand. So let's come here and pass it. Okay, so at this point minus dollar grand, so this amount should be minus or subtracted from the balance. Now in the array, what we have to pass, first of all, let's go back into the stored procedures and select the insert supplier. Where is that? Insert supplier. Let me insert ledger supplier. Yes, this one. Okay, so after supplier description we have to debit. So where is debit? Debit is 0 in this case, so just passing 0. And then what we have, another thing that we need to pass here is the credit. So the credit is you see the grand, so dollar grand, and then we have the next thing after the credit, that is the balance or the updated balance. Okay, so the updated balance should be dollar balance. Simple. So I have this, given this to an array, and now I have to pass this array dollar ARR, and then the message. I don't need to pass any message, just leave it as it is. Okay, so now we have to check whether it is working or not. So time to check it out. Okay, there is an error coming. Why? Okay, yes, grand colon grand. This should be something like this. Okay, save. Come here and start. Let's purchase finally. One more, we have to make it, we have to add another account where the data should be added. Okay, because the person who is logged in, the admin, okay, or the buyer, because we are the buyers, the business owner is the buyer. Okay, so we have to select that account, that who is buying these products. So one thing is still remaining, that we have to add this. But let us first check whether it is working or not, then we'll continue in the next lecture, no issues. So let's save this. So you see it's saying me MySQL underscore fetch underscore row one. Okay, that's again a connection issue. So let's on line number 67 inside the insert.php. 57, where is that? 57, no, it's inside the insert.php on line 67. Here MySQL underscore fetch underscore row, again the connection issue. So let's try to resolve this connection and this one. Okay, now let us go and refresh the page. I have changed the connection to con2. Now let's verify. Okay, 14 U and this and that. What I'm buying, let's pick it up, 5 and 5, 25, add item and save. You see one record inserted successfully. Now let's go to the ledger supplier, and here you see, okay, the data is there, and the supplier ID, you see we have the supplier ID here 9. Okay, so 9 has the opening balance 00. Okay, and then 9 has this. Okay, so when I you see, because the last balance was 0, so the amount is in minus 25. I hope it is clear to everyone. So things are working now, it's better. So maybe mainly the issues come from the connection, so I've utilized 2 connections for this. Okay, so now the supplier is added, but the reverse entry, the contra entry, that means this 25 should be debited somewhere inside the owner. So we have to add the owner details, okay, and we have to make the owner ledger as well. So I think the time is about to finish, and it's more than the normal time. So guys, that's all for today. But we have completely finalized the purchase invoice in today's lecture. Only one thing is remaining, that is the ledger of the owner. So we'll continue in the next lecture for this, and then we'll go for the other stuff. So that's all for today, guys. Hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and learned a lot of things, that how can we do purchase invoicing when we are dealing with the inventory portal. And guys, I request you, if you do not have subscribed yet, just subscribe to my channel and promote these lectures so that others can also learn, and do press the bell icon as well. It's very important so that you can never miss my upcoming lectures. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.